What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the second day of August, and here we are, 2 days, 11 hours left in this. Oh no, that's not the week. Sorry, one day. I was like, that's not right. One day, 11 hours left in this week. We're here right, right at about half a cent right now. Bitcoin's struggling a little bit. I'm starting to think we just got this hour to close red. I'm starting to think that we do go a little bit lower. We rejected the overbought zone on the stochastics. It was looking good for a second there. It was looking like we would come back and close it green, but nope. No. We had a bearish finish to that hour. I think that could imply a couple of things, right? One, we could find a higher low, a double bottom, or three, a lower low, something like that. Any and all of those options are very possible, but I do think, just looking at it here, we might go a little bit lower. And how low could we go, And we're talking about Bitcoin because I think it's relevant to ZBCN too. If Bitcoin's moving down, well, ZBCN can move up. We've seen it move up even when Bitcoin moves down. We've seen it move down even when Bitcoin moves up. So it can do its own thing. But, I would think it's very possible that we go down to that 112K area. Maybe we do. I'm thinking 112.4K, but maybe we go down to the 112K area. You never know. We'll see. ZBCN, though, looking at it here on the weekly time frame, definitely looking rather wickish at the top, right? And that's okay. Typically, you don't want to see that, and you don't normally see that in your bullish weeks, but we'll see. One day, 11 hours left. That's a lot of time left in this week, so you can definitely come back up. But you're up 19% overall, while most cryptos are down this week. That's nice. That's definitely nice to see. 1 hour time frame here. Looking at it, I would think that you're going to find resistance here and that you come down. You can definitely see, I don't know if it's this simple, okay? Don't treat this like it has to be like this, right? Here, let me show you an example of where this will get it wrong, actually. But like if you're moving up, look at where you're finding direct resistance here, and then you're grinding this area out. You find a resistance here, you're grinding this area out. You find resistance here, you're grinding this area out. You would think that you go lower, but then boom, then you rip to the upside. With that same thought in mind, we're finding direct support here, we're kind of grinding this area out. We're finding direct support here and then kind of grinding this area out. I would think that we break out to the upside, but maybe first what we do is we come down, we get a low, and then we break out to the upside. But again, it's not that simple. Don't treat it like that is a signal for bullish upticks, right? Looking at this here on the 1 hour time frame, we do have lower lows and lower highs, but you have broken out of your trend, I want to say. Looking at this, oh, maybe not. Kind of. You attempted to, but now you're back in it. I guess it's actually bearish. Yeah, you have a failed W here in the 1 hour RSI, don't you? So that is kind of bearish, actually. Could you go lower than this low? Could you? I wouldn't think you do. I would think this is a correction, so it'd be a 1, 2, 3-legged correction. I wouldn't think that you go lower than this low. Being honest with you and being honest with myself, I wouldn't think that you do, but Bitcoin's moving down a little bit. I mean, maybe. Stochastics look bearish. MACD, if these things are indicating that we go lower and the MACD rejects this zero, that could actually be problematic. You could go lower. That wouldn't be in my wheelhouse of expectations, but maybe we do go lower, you guys, and that's okay if we do. 4 hour time frame here. Looking at the 4 hour, coming up, rejecting prior areas of support. That's not a good look either. Stochastics are wrestling down here. You don't want to see that. You just want to see them range and come back up. RSI rejecting the 50. You don't want to see that either. Maybe you do. Maybe you do go lower, you guys. I think at this point in time, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, we could stand to go below 0046. I might have gotten that one wrong. Someone was trying to give me crap about my ZBCN calls. They were like, you're leading everyone down, like they're like, ZBCN, Toshi, everyone's losing money because of your videos on these. And I'm like, dude, I feel like of any of the coins you could have talked about, Toshi and ZBCN are like the ones that I've had a lot more accuracy with, actually. ZBCN in particular. Like I feel like I'm like 9 out of 10 isn't even doing me justice, man. I've been pretty freaking lethal with this thing. And then whenever I do have a call that's wrong, like this, like I'm thinking that this isn't the low, we say it before we even cross below the low. You know what I mean? So it's like no harm, no foul. It's like, oh, this is the low here. And then up here I'm like, oh, nope, it's not the low. We're going to go lower. Like that's not, I was wrong, but then I was right. It offsets, and it offsets in the best way because you could have bought here and then you could have sold there, and you know what I mean. I don't know, but whatever. In my head, the way that it works, and this isn't to cherry pick. I really don't care about being right or wrong, but in my head, how it works is if you call for a low and then before you cross that low, you say, "Oh, we're going to go lower." I consider that as you're not wrong. You got eager, and I don't know. That's just me personally, right? But and yes, you are wrong. I get it. Yes, you are, especially because I did say and I do believe that we have that low there, but it's very possible that we could go lower. That's all I'm trying to address here. Low to high here, 236 could if we go lower. Maybe ZBCN goes all the way back down to 420, guys. 00420. That could be exactly where you go. It's pretty common to go to the 382. It's not a problem. It's really not nothing to be scared of or ashamed of. Right? You did that here. You went right to your 382 there. Here, I think you went to your golden ratio. Yeah, your golden ratio right there. So, I mean, 382 there, 382 here. Go for it. Whatever. That's not a problem. Not a problem at all. Even on the relative basis, what would that be? Let's see. 382 right here. Move this up to this low here. That's right there, smack dab in the middle of your relative golden ratio area too. And you rejected the 236 here. I think you're going lower. I feel confident at this point in time in calling for 0043 to 00414. I would stand to be corrected if Bitcoin starts to get bullish. I would stand to be corrected if we see ZBCN on a 4-hour basis starting to close prices above 0.052565. Okay, 0.0526, let's say 0.0526. If we start closing above 0.0526, then I'm wrong. Then I'm wrong to the idea that we go down. I'm right to the idea that we go up. Or I wouldn't be right at that point, right? Would have been right in the original idea that this is the low, but now that I'm calling that off, right? Setting myself up for failure here, maybe. But I do think that we're going to go down to 0.043, 0.0413, or maybe right there in the middle at 0.0420, something in this zone here. Find support there and then continue to rally. Yeah, that's the expectation. Let's take a low to high here and just see. Golden ratio, right? It's perfect, man. It's a match made in heaven. So lower you go. If you wanted to find support here, if you wanted to validate this low, I think you would have done it already. ZBCN is a robust coin. It moves up very vibrantly whenever it wants to, but it just doesn't seem that it wants to here. You fumbled the bag, so lower you go, and then just get to that oversold zone. Find support there like you did before. You even did the same kind of thing. Downtrend, rejected the 50, and then down. Downtrend, rejected the 50, and then down. Stochastics can stay oversold for a little bit. MACD can come down. You'll scoop that zero just a little bit more on the MACD, and that'll be fine. That's bullish. That's not a bad thing. So, yeah, a little bit lower, my friends. A little bit lower, and then higher. Okay, then higher. You know where we're going. We're going all the way up to half a cent. No, I'm just kidding. We're going all the way up. Let's see. To 2 cents, 2.2 cents, 4.5 cents, somewhere in that area, right? I really do believe that we'll see something in this target zone. If I'm wrong, it's only because we went higher, not because we went lower. Okay, that's the only way that I could be wrong on this thing. I'm expecting specifically this target area of about 3 to 4.5 cents is where we will go, where we will be, and that should happen. Maybe not like that. It could happen like that. We've moved like that before, but I think that this will happen sometime in September. It could happen in August. It could happen in September, but sometime between the end of August and the end of September. That's my expectation. I don't have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said everything I need to, right? Good talk, my friends. Good talk. Yeah, we'll just reset a little bit. That's not a problem. Right? Reset a little bit more, get the daily RSI down a little bit more, whatever. You'll probably get a lower low in the daily RSI with a higher low in the price that's bullish. Same thing with the stochastics. You'll bounce off the 50, lower low with a higher low that's bullish, and the MACD looks great. MACD looks phenomenal, so no concerns there. MACD looks all right here. Stochastics look all right here. I mean, just the further out you zoom, even with this short history that you have, the weekly, if you have any doubts that this thing is going to see new all-time high, just look at the weekly chart. These indicators are fierce, bro. You are absolutely fierce on the weekly time frame, even with this wick to the upside on this candle. But I'm not worried about it. I think you're going to have fantastic time coming up with the coming weeks, coming months, coming rest of this year, and going into next year. Just a little bit of a hiccup over the weekend, which in my opinion is actually good. It's good to see a bearish weekend and get a bullish week as a result. But hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.